Philadelphia took the field, once again carrying the full weight of the Eagles fanbase on an NFL Sunday that looked like the classic script of a division matchup: familiar rival, physical football, plenty of trash talk, and the expectation of another important win. But at a certain point, it became clear this game would not be remembered just because of the final score. Something happened on the field that changed the tone of the broadcast, the reaction of the crowd, and the conversation around this win. For those who were only listening, with the game on in the background while driving, working around the house, or doing something else, you could feel it immediately. The announcer's voice tightened up, the crowd got louder, and that usual NFC East tension suddenly felt heavier. This wasn't just another hard hit or a routine shove after the whistle. This was the kind of moment that makes longtime Eagles fans stop what they're doing and really pay attention. Because when this happens in an Eagles game, there's usually a consequence. And this game had context. This was not just any Sunday. It was a divisional matchup against the Washington Commanders, a team that always shows up trying to ruin the day for Philadelphia fans. These games are never clean, never calm, and never just another date on the schedule. There's history here. There's resentment built up over years. And there's that feeling that nobody is backing down. From the opening kickoff, the game was physical. Stronger blocks, hits right at the limit, words exchanged after the play. All of it felt familiar to Eagles fans. But as the game went on, one thing became clear. The Eagles were in control. The offense was doing enough. The defense was setting the tone. And the scoreboard was starting to reflect that control. Then came the fourth quarter. After a 2-point conversion that stretched the lead even further, everything boiled over. What looked like a routine play suddenly turned into a full-blown confrontation. Players started jawing at each other, shoves turned into pushes, more bodies rushed in, and within seconds the field was packed with players, officials trying to restore order, and coaches yelling from the sideline. If you were only listening, it sounded like chaos. The announcer trying to sort out what was happening, the crowd roaring, and that awkward pause while the officials worked to regain control. You could tell right away this wasn't ending with a simple warning, and it didn't. Once things finally settled down, the officials made their decision. 3 players were ejected from the game. For the Eagles, it was Tyler Steen, who was sent off. On the Commanders' side, 2 players were also ejected. A rare scene, especially considering the point of the game when it happened. Here's the key detail that matters for anyone listening right now. This did not happen in desperation. This was not a tight game. This was not a last-ditch comeback attempt. The fight broke out when the Eagles already had a comfortable lead. In other words, this wasn't a team losing control because things were falling apart. This was a team winning, imposing its will, and still caught in a moment of pure tension. Even after the ejection, the Eagles never lost their focus. They stayed composed, managed the clock, controlled the game, and closed out the win. And this wasn't just any win. This was the victory that clinched the NFC East title for the 2nd straight year. A big goal, a meaningful milestone, especially in a division known for being physical, hostile, and unpredictable. Winning the division means something. It means consistency over the course of a long season. It means handling both easy games and ugly ones. It means emotional maturity. And maybe most important of all, it puts the team in a strong position heading into the playoff with home field advantage and control over their own path. For Eagles fans, especially those who have followed this team for decades, games like this feel familiar. It's that sense that the Eagles don't just win, they impose themselves. They don't flinch. Even when the game gets messy, physical, and emotionally charged, the result still goes their way. Of course, the fight will be debated. It always is. Some fans don't like seeing moments like that and focus only on the risk involved. Others see it as a sign of a team that sticks together, that protects itself, and that doesn't accept cheap shots or disrespect. And when the final result is a win and a division title, the tone of that debate changes quickly. Inside the locker room, the mood was almost certainly celebratory. Winning the NFC East is no small thing. It's a major step in the season, and doing it against a divisional rival, at home, in front of the Philly crowd, makes it even more. From the coaching staff's perspective, this game sends a clear message. The biggest one is that this team knows how to handle adversity. Even when things go off script, even when players are ejected, the group stays locked in. That's maturity. And that's exactly what you need when you start thinking about playoff football, where every mistake can end your season. There's always the possibility of fines after the league reviews a situation like this. That's part of the NFL. But so far, there's nothing suggesting this will impact the rest of the season in a serious way. And that allows the focus to stay where it belongs, on the next opponent, the next challenge, and the bigger goal. Another thing that can't be ignored is the crowd. Eagles fans don't disappear when things get tense. They get louder, they push harder, they turn the stadium into an even tougher place to play. Even if you were just listening at home, you could feel that energy coming through the broadcast. And maybe that's the real identity of this team. The Eagles win game. But more than that, they win by playing physical, by being present, and by having personality. Attempts to rattle them emotionally don't usually change the outcome. Looking ahead to the rest of the season, this win and this division title put the Eagles in an extremely strong position. Better seeding, more confidence, and a clear sense of who they are as a team. Games like this build toughness, and toughness matters when the pressure ramps up. So now comes the controversial question, the one that always splits fanbase. Do games like this, physical, emotional, and sometimes chaotic, actually prepare the Eagles for the playoffs, or do they become a risk when every single detail matters? Drop your comment, because it helps strengthen the Eagles community here on the channel. Hit that like button, because it tells YouTube this kind of discussion deserves to reach more Philly fans. And make sure you subscribe, because the bigger this community gets, the stronger the voice of Philadelphia Eagles fans becomes all season long.